Another name mentioned for Treasury Secretary is Larry Fink, the chairman and CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest money management firm. He joins us this morning, and I'm pleased to have him here. Welcome.
Good morning.
We want to talk about how you see the fiscal cliff and where you think the economy is. First, the global and domestic economy. We're recovering. Is the recovery sustainable?
The recovery in the United States is an example of what a lot of hard work over the last 4 years, whether it's stabilization of the housing market, reorienting our banks with much more capital, and then most importantly, we have an energy sector that is the envy of the world. And so between a rebound in housing that we're going to be exhibiting, a strong banking system, and with an energy sector that's going to add a large amount of jobs, the only thing in between a great successful economy is this fiscal cliff, which could be a rather large destabilizer of the potential of the economy for the next 2 years.
If they can't do something about that, then the economy goes into recession?
If we fall over the cliff, we'll
Right.
go into a recession. I could say that with total certainty. Right now, you're seeing behavior changing by the CEOs. They are holding back hiring. They're holding back spending at the moment. You're not witnessing that yet, certainly in Christmas sales with individuals. But if we do fall over the cliff, you're going to see payroll tax increases, and you're going to see the extension of unemployment benefits going away. That alone would probably lower the economy by 2%.
CEOs are meeting with the president. What are they saying to him? What should he do about entitlements as well as about new revenue?
Well, I think every CEO is having a different view on that. I come with a view that it has to be a balanced approach, a combination of tax changes, tax increases, and also changes in how we use deductions and other things like that. And then we're going to have to finally address the whole issue of longevity. We're going to live a lot longer, Charlie, and we are not focusing on that. And unfortunately, I think we're doing a disservice. A couple 65 years old in good health, one of them is going to live to 92. And so you add that whole that issue of longevity. You know, we have to start focusing on these added costs of entitlements. And so it's going to have to be a combination of revenue increases and changes over a period of time of when do we begin these the availability for Medicare and Medicaid, and maybe it should be extended from 67 to 69 for the young people, and stagger that in. But the combination of both of them is going to be about a $4 trillion savings. And what I'm frightened of, we have 20% of our federal debt owned by Japan and China. So it's about $3 trillion. If you look at demographics, like I just talked about the U.S. demographics, in 10 years, Japan's going to go from a saving society to a spending, as their population is aging very rapidly. And as large as China is, within 20 years, they're going to have a need for much more accelerated spending and less savings because of the aging of their population. So a combination of all the purchases by the Federal Reserve and these two large owners of our federal debt, we are going to have a serious issue. So, albeit the problem is out 10 years, but we can't afford to spend $1 trillion each year more than we're saving.
So that's why you're one of these CEOs who has signed this Fix the Debt pledge. But in the immediate future is this fiscal cliff. I wonder how many CEOs are talking to House Republicans about including additional revenues, and how many of you are talking to Democrats including more of these entitlement reforms, like you're talking about, like raising the eligibility age? And I mention that because really these House Republicans are going to hold the key to writing any new tax laws.
I am scheduled to have dinner with a bunch of Republican senators next week. I've had some Democratic senators visiting my office the last few weeks. And in both cases, I said exactly what I just told you. It has to be a combination.
Well, what about John Boehner? I mean, I know you supported President Obama, but what about House leaders? I mean, do you sense that other CEOs are talking to House leaders?
Absolutely. And I don't mean I'm just saying senators, but there's no question. I believe the severity of our deficits and the future problems ahead of us of their deficits are going to have to be addressed by a combination of revenue increases.
So the question, Larry, is, are they listening? And are they prepared to make compromises that they were not prepared before?
I think so. I think for the...
Why do you think so?
I think maybe it's the openness of the dialogue. In August of 2011, when we had this problem, you did not hear any CEO speak up. You did not hear a public discord about this. I actually believe the militancy of the CEOs today is a very different phenomenon. Maybe it's the timing is different, maybe the atmosphere is different, but everybody's speaking out. Now, so one CEO may have a different opinion than other ones, but the fact is, it is an open dialogue, and an open dialogue is a democratic process.
And do you think the president should appoint a businessman or maybe even a Republican person who supported Governor Romney as Secretary of the Treasury to send a message?
I think we're going to live in a very volatile world. We're going to have additional problems in Europe. We have to address our issues with China. We have Japan going back into a recession. And so the world is not perfect. We're going to have a lot of volatility. We are going to need a secretary who not only has the ability to work with Congress, but truly has the confidence of the global economic world.
As Tim Geithner has spent so much time
Absolutely.
doing over the past year. Larry Fink, thank you. So great to have you here.